All right, welcome back to the Real and Wills podcast.
Welcome back.
And today we have a very, very special guest. We told you we were bringing big guests. You didn't want to listen, so we just had to show out and prove it. We've got Conor Benn on the show today. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bruv. I'll take that. You really bigged me up big there. I'll take that.
Come on, man. Come on.
You're big, man. You have to big you up, man.
It's only right. It's only right. How you been, though? How you been?
Yeah, good, man. Obviously, the world's in a madness at the minute with the whole COVID-19, as well as everything else, everything else that's going on in the world. So I've just been keeping my head down, grafting, training, and trying to better myself, because everything will return back to normal. I just need to make sure I return back even better.
Yeah,
so what about you,
the truth right there? Same, man. Same. Just being a bit lazy, though. I got
no,
a bit
you don't look
lazy
like you're slacking. Listen, I see the biceps through that top. You ain't been slacking. Don't lie, unless that's an extra small you got on.
Like, you know what happened? All the weight went to the belly, man. I got a little pop belly. But it'll be gone. It'll be gone. 2 more weeks, it'll be gone, man.
Listen, you know the drill. 1 week, sweatsuit sorted.
You know what it is? It's good to see that you see, like you two, obviously you're pro boxers, yeah? So you just stayed active. You just have to stay active. You know what I'm saying? You have to stay true to the game. So you can't afford to be slacking or take days off. You know how it is, man.
Yeah, well, do you know what it is? It's because I live good. It's if I don't run or I don't train, I think would the old Conor Benn do that? Do you know what I mean? With the one who ain't got what he's got now, do that, and I make sure I keep myself in check. Do you know what I mean? Because it's easy to get comfortable with the nice living and all that, but in reality, it can go like that. It can go in the click of 2 fingers.
Yeah, accountability.
That's it.
No, for
exactly.
real.
Accountability, man.
I see, Conor, you've done a video with Joe Weller recently. So that's so you're tapping into the community, which is good to see, because the guys bring a lot of numbers, bring a lot of attention, can build a whole new fan base, which is important, obviously, in today's boxing. We know being good at fighting isn't enough anymore. You know, what made you realize, all right, cool, let me start my YouTube channel. Let me start building. Let me start working, collaborating with some of the creators that I'm very familiar with.
Do you know what? I sort of keep myself to myself, but I'm quite out there, which is a good thing. Because as a fighter, just being a fighter, it really isn't enough. There are some great fighters out there, unbelievable fighters out there.
Very much, yeah.
Who are they? You know, some fighters you don't even know their name. So and then you sit back and you think, okay, maybe I'll go out of my way to do a YouTube. Ain't really going out of my way that much because it's surrounding my whole life anyway. Joe Weller in the boxing gym with me, that's nothing out of the ordinary for me. And people like to see that. And now is the time where it's YouTubers and boxing have they're on it. The general public are on it. Big time.
It's like it's joined together now, you know. It's
weird though, because at first I was like, I just weren't sure about it at first. And then you see numbers don't lie.
No.
And then
that's true.
Numbers don't lie.
True, man. So
when you got them fighters fighting and they're selling out arenas in 2 seconds, and then you got so and so other promoters trying to put on shows and they can't even sell 2,000 tickets.
Yes, true.
That's the thing, you know. A lot of people give those guys a hard time, but when it comes down to it, a large part of the sport, the majority part of the sport, is to get people to watch you, and they have mastered that. So, you know, they get a head start. Even seeing Jake Paul's co-main event on the Tyson show.
Oh, he's co-main.
He's co-main event. That's it. He's one fight before Tyson and Roy Jones. So you got to think there's world champions on the card, like Badou Jack, 2-weight world champion, and he's fighting before Jake.
Oh man, I didn't know none of this.
Yeah,
because I've cut off from social media and everything, so I didn't know none of this. This is all new to me. So hold on a minute.
See, we're getting exclusives. He's not even on socials.
No.
Podcast. Come on.
Yeah, no, I've stayed away from all socials, interviews, social media, like everything. So fill me in. So hold on a minute. So Badou Jack's on the undercard.
So Badou Jack's on the show. I'm on the show. Yeah. And Jake Paul is on the show. But he's co-main event. So Badou's, even though his world championship credentials are there, he's been put on the show to fight before Jake.
See, and that says something.
Yeah. He's pissed, obviously, but
you know what it is?
At the end of
Whoever
the day,
brings
everyone's
crowds,
eating.
innit? Yeah, everyone's eating. But if you bring the crowd, if you've got supporters, then boy.
But you think to yourself, so you got to remember, me outside looking in, not knowing nothing about the YouTube world, the industry, what sort of people it brings. Surely you'd think the YouTubers are predominantly younger people who wouldn't buy a ticket to go to see a fight. Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
It's just, you know, you got to look at it though.
Yeah.
It's that, see the YouTube community, it's global. So predominantly when people buy fights to go and watch a fight in London, the majority of the crowd will be from London. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So if it's pay-per-view, global crowd, the fans from all over the world can come, you know what I'm saying? Come and watch your fight.
I see.
So that's the difference. A lot of people just have local support.
Yeah,
When you get bigger and bigger, you get a few more people coming to see you and whatnot.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's a new wave, but obviously we might touch back on that later in the conversation. Let's get to you. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your journey. Let's start at the beginning. So we know growing up, you didn't grow up in the UK. And how was that experience? And then how was the transition into coming over here and building the fan base and the love you got here now?
It's a mad one, really, because it weren't planned. So I grew up in Spain. I lived there for 12 years. I moved there when I was young. I don't even remember England. And then I moved to Australia for 5 years. And then the rest of the time I've been back here. So I never really understood people over here. Believe it or not. I mean, I talk like, I know I sound like I'm, you know, through
never know.
Through and all that. But when I come here, when I come here, I didn't know the slang talk. I didn't understand nothing. I didn't understand the Essex talk. You may as well have threw me in, you know, some foreign country. You know, they're going, you know, look at his kettle. And I'm thinking, oh, man, kettle.
I know what kettle was. That's funny.
And I didn't get it. But you got to remember.
Watch. Kettle means watch.
Kettle means, for those that don't know.
Some people don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, okay. A lot of people don't know. You're not making me feel a lot better about myself now.
No, don't worry. The audience might not know what a kettle is.
So that's how that happened, and then somehow I've ended up where I am. It's all. I'm a man of faith. I don't know about you guys. I'm a man of faith. I believe that, you know, I don't mean to take it all deep and on a level or spiritual. I weren't built for, well, clearly I'm built for this, but I weren't really supposed to be here. I didn't plan it. So if God's brought me here, he ain't going to bring me here if I couldn't handle it. Yeah. And that's where my faith and my peace comes in, because at the minute, sometimes I feel like there's a weight of the world on my shoulders and expectation and this and that. But the reality is I'm a novice. I've heard today, you won stuff as an amateur. Am I right?
Yeah. So as I boxed for West Ham actually. So
I didn't know that. You see, I didn't know that until today.
Yeah. So I boxed for West Ham, won 8 national titles, European silver medal.
Okay, all right. I didn't go into details. They said you won stuff as an amateur. All right. Fair play to you.
You're allowed to talk about it. You know, I don't want to talk about it.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
But Conor, can he speak Spanish? Can he speak Spanish?
Pues claro que puedo hablar español.
Yeah, you can go. You got all the whole of Mexico and that's supporting you.
Well, listen, that would be nice. I've even got the Mexican tash to go along with it.
Trust me, when they go over to America, boy, just get on the back and just drop 2 Spanish.
Standard. When I fought in New York, I loved it. Do you know what I mean? So me going back over there. Yeah, me going back over there. If anything, I feel stress relief over there.
Yeah,
but you feel like there's less pressure. Yeah. You're more just to be yourself.
No one out there wants to see me lose as much as people will, which is bizarre, because you think to yourself, why? I don't understand why so many people. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's some of the English supporters. I feel like I've been silver spooned, which is why they are the way they. But then again, I get a lot of love and a lot of support. but then again, you get 10 positive comments, you're going to think about the one. So I'm going to rephrase that. There are great British supporters. Look at the fighters who followed Ricky Hatton all the way to Vegas. The fighters who followed my dad to his career, throughout his whole career. Do you know what I mean? So, but I just sometimes wonder, why can't people just support your own?
Yeah. We wish it was that simple.
You know, it's different because even, see, like back in the day, yeah? See, you used to ask the man what football team do you support, they'll tell you a local team or a team up the road. Now, you ask a kid, who do you support? Let's say Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juve. You know what I'm saying? They don't support the English teams no more.
I don't follow football.
Oh, you don't follow football?
I don't know. I used to.
Not so much now.
No, I don't know. I don't know football players, brother. I don't know anybody.
What was you doing
That's
as a kid?
interesting, you know.
Yeah, I know. I know. What? Go on, Leon.
What sport was you into? What sport was you into as a kid growing up?
I went into sport. I was into BMXing, skateboarding.
Okay.
So I ain't really. I weren't like. I played a little bit of football. Didn't like it. I'd always had a little bit of a temper. But other than that, I was a BMX guy. Listened to the Jonas Brothers. Wanted to skateboard and be Avenged Sevenfold and all that.
Okay. Yeah, different living.
I didn't know football, or I didn't have the desire or ambition to be anything. I was just living as a young kid who thought that my parents not having to go to work, living in a 6-bedroom mansion, and was just normal.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So nice. So I was that kid. You know where like I look at some kids and I think like you can just tell that you don't live in the real world. I lived in a bubble up until I was 16, 17. I lived in a bubble. And I can now see what sort of kid I was by looking at other kids that I know I was like.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But somehow I've ended up looking like I'm part of the Mexican cartel.
Yeah, you're chatting up there.
I don't know how.
So what I find interesting is you said, you know, obviously your dad being who he is, for those that don't know at home, just to educate, Nigel Benn is Conor Benn's dad, British boxing legend, super middleweight champion of the world, biggest win probably against Gerald McClellan, wasn't supposed to win the fight, dominated the fight, obviously ended tragically, but again, that's probably the biggest win of his father's career. So you got all of this history going on, you got all of this boxing in the house, and you're doing your BMX and you're into alternative things. How do you now cross from that into saying, you know what, I think I can be world champion, and being a boxer fully fledged in your own right, holding your own shows, everything? How did that happen? How did that jump happen?
I think I didn't know my dad was Nigel Benn up until I was like 15. So wow. my dad sold all his boxing belts. He didn't want me around boxing. I didn't go to no boxing gyms in Spain. So as far as you think of the upbringing I might have had, which would have been the obvious, it's far from different. I was raised in a religious church. I used to sing in the church choir. My school that I went to, there was 30 kids, and it was a religious school. I used to go to church on Fridays, Sundays. My dad used to be a pastor. So as far as it goes with boxing, there was no pride being spoken about on my dad's behalf. If anything, it was always the boxing was brought in with a negative of the lifestyle he chose to live. Do you see what I'm saying? So it was never, oh my gosh, my dad's Nigel Benn.
Wow, that's good, you know. That's good. You don't really hear that. You hear a lot of people's father was a champion, and they just follow the path or whatnot from young. They've been training from young.
No, I wasn't a fighter, man. I wasn't a fighter. I was not a fighter. I had a little bit of temper, as you do from the age of 15 to 18. That's all I was. And then somehow I got asked to go down to the Matchroom boxing gym, and I put someone down. And then from then, I've never put anyone down before in my life, ever. And then that's the first time. So listen to this. Is that God or what? Come on. I've not put anyone down before. I've not put anyone down before in my life. I had my first amateur bout when I was 17. I had 23 bouts within a year up until I was 18. 18, I got in trouble.
23 in a year?
Yeah. And then at 18, I got in trouble. for some stuff, and I couldn't go to the boxing gym for a whole year. So remember, 17 to 18, I had 23 amateur fights. From 18 to 19, I didn't have no amateur bouts, or I couldn't box. I didn't do nothing. And then at 19, I got sent to England, and I trained with Ricky Hatton. And then, I planned on having a few more amateurs in England, but I didn't. And then I come to the Matchroom gym, put someone down, and then before I know, I'm on the next AJ bill. Bearing in mind, I ain't fought for a year, and then that other year, I only had 23 amateur bouts.
What show was that? What AJ fight was that?
AJ, but for the world title, we fought.
innit?
Martin.
Charles Martin.
That's it.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there.
Okay. So so when you look at it all like that, you think, and now I pinch myself. I'm driving around my 911 thinking, how on earth have I got here? Like, it was a fluke at first. It was a fluke.
Yeah.
And then
it's funny, your destiny. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, definitely. But you know what? If you was raised in East London, you would have had fights in primary school, secondary school, the streets. You would have got challenged. That's how it is. You would have been a boxer from back then. That's how it is.
Do you think
that's how it is?
100%.
Growing up.
What do you mean?
In primary school, people would have known your dad's a boxer because you'd have been in East London predominantly, easily. Then they would challenge you. Oh, your dad can fight. What about you?
Do you know what would happen? You know what happened? They would have got mash up.
Yeah, but still, of course. You would have probably wanted to go to the boxing gym at a younger age.
Do you think so?
That's how it is.
Nah, definitely.
That's how it is.
Definitely. Like,
you get
even the
fact
fact that, like,
yeah,
I boxed.
Go on.
No, go on. Yeah, I boxed for West Ham since I was like 11, 12. And even the fact that people know I boxed for that club, they try extra harder because people like your dad have left a legacy there. People like Kevin Mitchell have left a legacy there. So when they see they're fighting someone from West Ham, they try extra hard anyway. So let alone you being the son of one of these legends, they would be on your case all the time. All the time.
You would definitely have to test it.
Yeah, but do you know what? I wasn't that kid. I was nice. I was a nice kid.
Yeah.
I was friendly. I weren't what you see today. So you say, you would have, tried to lay into him and all that. I wouldn't.
No, but even just defending yourself, innit? See, sometimes, go on. Sometimes it's not even. You're not provoking. It would have been you're defending. You have to defend yourself. See, like growing up in East London, that's the culture, innit?
Yeah.
It's like a working class sort of area. So you have to defend yourself. You got to know how to defend yourself. So you would have to resort to boxing because you'll know subconsciously that your dad's a boxer. You might even ask him, "Oh, can I try a bit of boxing? Can you teach me a few moves?"
Yeah,
that's the environment. Mechanism.
So you imagine, I think I'd be more of an animal if I had a amateur boxing career. I think I would have been, a naughty. I would have been a naughty fighter. But I mean, I'm already a naughty fighter. I would have been, I would have learned the basics and the basic fundamentals. I'm learning now.
Yeah, on the job.
Yeah. But it's listen, as I said, so now you guys can sort of hear what I'm saying when I say, God won't bring me here, just take me back.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
No, and that's why my faith comes in.
You put on this path. You wasn't put on this path. It literally found you. As you said, you didn't drop no one, and then you drop someone at the Matchroom gym when it matters. You could have dropped anyone any other day, but
exactly. What are the chances, bro? That's weird. And then I think to myself, do you know what? I don't have faith in my ability. It's not me. This is obviously where I'm meant to be. So I just pray, God, you do what you got to do, man. But don't embarrass me.
Let God's will be done.
You've given me this platform for some reason. Mm-hmm. So I'll put my finger on. You make sure this works. You make sure this works.
He's holding him to it.
Yeah, you make sure this works because I didn't plan on being here. So this is all you. It's your fault I put down that guy. It's your fault I fought. You know what I mean?
All the blame on him.
That's good, yeah.
So yeah, that's how I look at it, man. But it's all a journey. I've just got to remember to sit back and actually come off social media, which I have, come off everything, and actually sit back and think. You know what?
What made you do that? What led to you saying, you know what, I'm coming off socials when socials right now is probably it's the biggest thing in the world. People are making obviously are living off social media, people are building their profile on social media. What made you say, nah, I'm hopping off at this time?
I'm a married man.
No. That's a great answer. That is a great answer. You know why?
Well,
Let me tell you why. Sometimes, I can go to my explore page and I can see a madness. I'm thinking, hang on.
I can't go into detail. I can't go into
see that. I don't want to see that.
You see this hand here? That means I plead the fifth. I ain't saying nothing.
Those jokes. You know, okay, well, you, everyone who's watching knows what I'm saying. So, but what it is, and then obviously that's a small factor.
I'm still dying.
But what it is just people just do your nutting. I'll be chilling, and I've got quite thick skin. I'm not really I don't really care what people say. And if someone will say something, and it'll wound me up. A fight will call me up and it'll wound me up. And I just think, you know what? I'll just come drive to your address now and then really see what you've got to say. And then I'll be winding myself up, balaclava up and all that. And I ain't that guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? You think you can talk to me like that over social media? You think so? I'll come then. Come. Do I look bothered? Do I really look bothered? You small man syndrome geezer. Do you know what I mean? And then exactly, and then you can see I ain't been on social media for time, but
It sounds like a good idea. Now I'm seeing how you're acting. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so I've got to calm myself down, but then I won't just be angry. And then I've got my other half that I've got the ump with, and because then I'll have to go to her. I'm sorry, blah blah blah. But it's only when other fighters call me out and they claim I'm scared and all that, it does my absolute nutting.
I was gonna touch on that actually before we get to that. I was gonna ask you, boxer to boxer, obviously we're all fighters here, anyway, and we all know the person who's hit us the hardest, the person who when they hit us, you're like, okay, this guy hits, this guy bangs. Who's that guy for you? Who's that guy for you?
Who's hit me hardest?
To the point where you're like, okay. Yeah, you got the little head shake.
You bang. You hit hard.
Well, you just got to give him a head nod, out of respect.
Like, you got this. Yeah.
Do you know what? I actually don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Who's hit me and it's, I don't know, I haven't had. Do you know what? I think there was this one time I sparred a featherweight, yeah. And he hit me and it hurt, and obviously it's a featherweight and it hurt, but I can't remember his name. But again, when you're in training camp, for me, it depends on how I feel in the spar,
like how I feel.
Yeah, because obviously I may have a really hard week and then it gets to Friday. And then I've got some guy sparring me for 10 rounds, batters me from pillar to post. But then, I'll rest all weekend. And then come Monday, I'm filling him in. So there's not ever been a consistent person where I've gone, I don't want to spar him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think I'd have to go with my dad.
Fair enough. Fair play. That might be mine, in fact. Now I think about it.
He chipped my tooth. He chipped one of my teeth and bled up my nose and everything. Yeah, I had no egg guard on.
Conor, see when you was training with Ricky Hatton, did you ever move around with him in the ring?
No, I wouldn't have been able to move him. I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's solid. So he's not he's obviously overweight and heavy, but he's it's like he's glued to the ground.
He's got I know them type of people.
He can't
strong.
Strong. But even at the way he's at now, I think if me and him, he just shoved me out of the way. He's just a strong geezer. So, but he was unbelievable training with him. What a great experience it was. It was for me the last of that fighting era. That let's have it. It was his boxing match where he got put down. I think the one where he retired was the first boxing match I ever went to.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. It's emotional.
We're getting some interesting facts today. We're actually getting some very interesting insights today. This is
and you know when I really
this
knew that my dad was proper famous, like you know, really famous, was when the arena was packed out and they went. And listen, you got to remember, from a little boy, like I got goosebumps on my legs. There's a little boy looking up to their dad, and they go, and Nigel Benn's in the building, and the arena just went boom. Oh, I thought, oh my days, I could not believe it. And then Ricky Hatton didn't even get a bigger cheer coming out. I thought, mate, Dad, you know, like you're official.
Nah, he's official. He's concrete. Official.
Concrete.
People know when he's mentioned, you know, because I feel like it's not just about your dad's fights. Of course, he was very exciting, but it's the rivalries he had around him. You know, the people he had around him to really help boost his profile. And especially in a time where we didn't have socials, there was a few channels on TV. And when you flip between a few of those channels, you're probably going to see your dad scrapping on there. Yeah, all of that makes a big difference to...
Of course.
I remember watching his dad, I remember watching your dad on Channel 4 back in the day. Channel 4, and then that, I was young.
No pay-per-view back then.
Channel 4.
No pay-per-view. No pay-per-view them times, but... No,
so that's what's... for me was a special moment.
No, that's sick, man. That's really good. All right, now let's get into the juicy bit, the bit that might get you a little bit riled up. What's actually happening with you and Josh Kelly? Because there's always a talk about he says this, you say this, whatever, and it doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon. But what was the whole thing there? What was that?
No, nothing. It first originally started where he walked past me and he said something in his accent and I couldn't understand, obviously, because I couldn't understand. So he walked past me and he's gone, let me pass my best mate. And I've stood up and thought, like, well, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And then he walked, and then he, like, what do you mean, best mate? I ain't your best mate. Do you know what I mean? And then he's walked past, and then he's walked past, and then he said something to me. And then I've looked at him and I've gone, we'll get back here then. I said, come back here. And then he started walking off, saying something again, walking off again. I thought, no, you come back here. I said, come back here. He's sitting there. And then I started cussing, and I don't cuss. Do you know what I mean? I said, shouting at him, come back here now. And all that, you know, all the fight talk. I ain't got to go into details. And then, and then he didn't come back to his seat.
He don't want to get one.
No, he didn't come back. Because if he would have come back, I would have then said, okay, now you're in front of me now then. Say what you got to say. Don't say it walking off. Well, all the security and everyone see it. Everybody at the boxing see it. And then I thought, you know what? Like, who do you actually think you are? Like, in his persona and the way he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, it don't float with me.
Yeah, so it's the rivalry as well, isn't it?
It's
up in it. It's competition.
It's not created. You see these other fighters trying to create rivalry with me. I'm like, mate, do well. I hope you do well. But with him, like these other fighters, they will call me out, and I know it's just, it's all love. But like they will be the sort of person where they go, you know, it was a great fight, you know, I have respect for you and all that, and give me a cuddle and little kiss afterwards. Whereas with him, I won't be like that.
So that's one of the people on the list in the boxing industry that you'd say you're not very fond of. We all have them. I have them as well.
Who's yours? Who's yours then?
You know, for me.
No, don't backtrack.
No. Who's yours? No, you know, my main person I say that I don't like is probably Daniel Dubois. That's probably my number one. But that's because I've known him since we were 8 years old. And he just always tried to test me, just always tried to push my buttons. And we had a fight like in 2013 and I beat him, but it's a long time ago. And I have a feeling one of the biggest fights in my career will probably be with him later on, like heavyweight. Because I'm a cruiserweight. That's dope. I think that would be a big fight because there's such a storyline there. I would have known him for how many years at that point? step up to heavyweight. I believe he will be heavyweight champion of the world at some point. And to go up there and beat him again and become heavyweight champion of the world, I feel like that would be the pinnacle of my career. But he's literally. But nah, he's probably the number one person where I'm just like, all right, cool. This guy, he's always gonna be around, just hanging around. Like my name and his name always gonna be hanging around. So I'd say that's my number one. But yeah, that's at
the end of the day, you just gotta do what's best for you, man. And really, that's what it boils down to. Because you know what? If I snap my arm, if I can't fight again, if I take a low purse for my next fight that could end up being my last fight, who's gonna worry about me and my missus and my kid when I have a kid?
True.
Who's gonna worry about it?
Dangerous sport.
People going, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. I ain't got to fight him. I'll fight people who are going to benefit me in my career, priority, and as well as I'm going to financially gain from. Not all these other bods calling me out. I'd be 30-0 if I thought all the bods calling me out in England that everyone claims I'm getting scared of. Do you know what I mean? Fortunately, I've been put in a position of carrying the Ben name. It's given me my advantages. But I ain't going to go around fighting every Tom, Dick and Harry because they claim I'm scared. Like I'm going to let them have that much of a say in my career. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. The fans always will request what they want to see, but they're not the ones that are putting in the time, the sacrifice, the whole.
But the ones
shebang,
that the fans really want to see, are the fights I want. Like
who are we talking about?
Josh Kelly, Samuel Vargas, Ashley Fairpain. He's about 18 stone. He ain't fighting again. Like I thought he was still. I thought he was. No,
like, he don't want to fight you. He doesn't want to fight you, man.
He doesn't want to fight. But he don't want to fight, man. It's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. Like, and because I'm not on social media, when my guy sends me my stuff and I see it, I'm like, he's just non-stop talking. But I'm looking at a picture and I'm thinking, mate, you're like 18 stone.
Yeah.
So don't go around. Talk is cheap on social media. It can give people the platform to talk their way into a fight, which is a good thing, as well as it makes money. But at least be for real about it.
Who would you say is actually? I'm gonna ask you this one first. Who is your favorite fighter of all time? Who did you watch?
My dad. That's the only person. My dad's the only person I watched. I watched everything. Like I watched his highlights. Like all nice. Like I just watched his highlights again and again and again and again.
When did you start?
You can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but when did you start studying your dad, how he boxes and whatnot?
I didn't study him. I just watched him out of awe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't go, oh yeah, look, he slipped a jab and he threw a right hand and countered with a left. No, I was just I was just in awe of who he was. Do you know what I mean? As a man, and what as
was
a
that
fighter,
when he just started boxing in Australia, or was it when he was young?
I watched him, but I didn't realise. It's weird, man, because I used to watch my dad on YouTube when I was in Spain still. I was maybe 13, 14 when I started watching my dad in school on YouTube. But they're all like old graphics, like they're old, you know what I mean? And I used to just watch him and think like, you know, I didn't think anything of it. That's the thing. And then I realised that, hold up a minute, Dad. Like, you know, you're a savage, do you know what I mean? And to go from being a dark destroyer to a loving, caring dad, that's some man. That's some man. It takes a man.
Big contrast.
Growth, innit?
Big contrast.
Massive. Like my dad, but I still see him growl. Listen, you don't want to see him growl. Like he's bad. He gets dark. Like no, he gets really dark. Like he walks into a room and the atmosphere just drops. Like he has this presence about him. So you can imagine when I used to get the belt. And you know what?
Yes.
You know what?
What are
you gonna do to a two-time world champion? I just have to do enough. I just used to have to surrender. You know what I mean?
We all did. There's no shame there,
Trust
bro.
me.
There's no shame.
I got some good licks.
We all did. Trust me, we did. The worst ones for me. The worst ones is like, obviously as a boxer, you growing up, wherever, you have a bad performance, you have a bad sparring session, get home. There's an extra sparring session waiting with the dad.
No, but I ain't bad. Mate, I've had bad. I'm telling you, naughty. Like I once pushed my dad. I said something once. After I explain this, I've got to go because I'm barbecuing with my wife and and their family, friends, and all that. But yeah, so listen, my dad said something about my missus that I was with at the time, and he hated her, and he said something. He said something, and then I went and I said something back, and then I had the porridge in my hand, hot porridge, yeah. He slapped the porridge out of my hand, but it burnt up all my face. So I tried to push him. So the porridge is sticking to my face, burning, and then I pushed him because obviously it's burning my face, and I pushed him, and then I looked at him, and I thought, I fucked up here, big time. Bomb, big straight right hand, whatever it was, I felt it.
Ooh, he come over with the overhand.
Yeah, trust me, it weren't no good. But yeah, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you guys. Honestly,
thank you for coming on.
Great, man.
Thank you.
I would love to stay and chat, but they were all eating already. So
you got to do the family stuff.
My missus going like that with the watch and all that. So, but yeah, listen.
Listen, appreciate you taking the time out, man. And listen, I owe you one. When I'm back in the UK, we'll go down the gym, we'll get some good content.
Listen, you may be the one teaching me stuff, bro. And I have a feeling that you're going to show me all them amateur-style tricks that I ain't picked on.
Listen, you can learn something from everybody. I'm going to learn from you. Definitely we'll learn something, man. It will be good. I'm going to schedule it in as soon as I get back.
God bless, man. Love, Conor.
Take care.
Bless, bro. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Love.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. That's good, you know.
Good little vibe. Chat with the man there, innit? That's good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
yeah,
you would never know you never know you came here at 17 or something. 18, 17.
I know, innit?
It's like he's been born here, like he's
the way he talks, the way he acts, like he's random, like he's grown. You would have thought he went to primary school here, secondary school here. It's true.
Because he's not that much older than me. I think
maybe about a year or two.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
90, you think he's 96, 97? I don't know. Let me check quick.
Yeah, 96. He's 23. Yeah. September 96,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's mad, but you don't feel like you're chatting to a 23-year-old. That's a girl.
But remember as well. Yeah, he's growing and he's hanging around with Justin and Cal. You know what I'm saying? His cousin and are older, so he's around older heads. See, when you're around older heads, it's a different ball game, isn't it? You're around grown people.
It is. Yeah. Because I'm chatting to him, but I'm thinking I'm chatting to someone older than me, even. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm chatting to someone older than me, but that's good though. I think that's a good episode.
That's good. Good episode.
I think that's a good episode. It's still recording. I might as well do a little outro or something. People, we told you we're gonna deliver. We're bringing through, the best in British boxing. We're going to be bringing in some other people, entertainers, some YouTubers as well. Don't worry, we ain't forgot about the YouTubers.
Don't worry, man. We're here. We're here for the long run.
We're here for the long run. As Nipsey Hussle said, the marathon continues. It's a marathon. We're not doing those sprints out here. R.I.P. Nipsey, always. But listen, love, like and subscribe. We'll be back again with another hit report and another podcast episode. Leave in the comments who you want to see, and again, we'll try our best to get them. Get me? That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bless.